start the video today, dude. I don't even want to sit here and talk basketball, it's fine, but you gotta, respect the camera, a little bit. Hello, everyone. It is Jake Baller here, and today, as you can see, I am back with another video. And in tonight's video, I'm gonna be doing more of a basketball whisper ramble, since it is NBA All-Star Weekend. With it being the NBA All-Star Weekend, we have the 3-point challenge, the skills challenge, the dunk contest, the All-Star Rising teams, whatever, the young guys, and of course the main event of the NBA All-Star Game, East vs. West. And I'm just going to be talking about it, giving a little bit of a rundown, the participants, and then obviously picking my own winners for the games, and skills, challenges, whatever, as well. So make sure, of course, you make sure you like the video, make sure you comment down below your own picks and winners. Any more ASMR video ideas, I'd also love to know as well. And yeah, let's get started here. So I think the first thing that we are going to be talking about is, we could talk about the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, but I don't think we're going to talk about that. Maybe put up a picture of the participants. Now, when this video is released, it's actually going to be released the day of Friday, the start of the NBA All-Star Weekend. So sorry if you're already seeing this and these things already happened, but I'm recording this and everything on the day that it comes out, so sorry about that. Yeah, NBA Celebrity Game is kind of whatever. But actually, I think the first thing we'll talk about, on the schedule, which I'll put a picture right here as well, the first thing that's actually supposed to happen is the Rising Stars games. Now, if you don't know, a set of rising stars in the NBA, rookies and sophomores, first year and second year players, and even some G League Ignite NBA players as well, got into a big pool, a big group, and 3 team captains picked their own teams. I think there are 7 or 8 players on each team, and each of the 3 teams plus the G League Ignite team will face off against each other in a tournament style game. Very short, condensed games to pick a winner, to see who picked the best teams, or I guess if the G League Ignite guys are just that good. Now, instead of going through the entire set of lists and the entire set of teams, I'm just going to be putting up the pictures, talking about some of the notable players, and I guess picking my team, who I think is going to win the entire tournament. So, first up, we have Team Pau Gasol, which I think is going to be everyone's favorite. If I can remember, he won it last year with the team that he drafted as well. And again, these teams are drafted. It's a pool of rookies and sophomores, so you're going to be seeing notable players of rookies and sophomores of all these teams combined together. Of course, the star of Pau Gasol, I think I got the #1 pick in the draft, where you can actually watch the draft that they actually drafted these teams together. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's Victor Wembanyama, which, of course, that is just an absolutely insane #1 pick. Of course, it's Victor. Victor. He's the next godsend of an NBA basketball player. So, of course, he's going to be picked first, and he's on Team Pau Gasol, which I think looks like a pretty good team. Definitely have a lot of length and everything like that. They have the rookie from the Golden State Warriors. He's been playing extremely well for that team. He's obviously trying to get back into that sort of championship aspiration type of, mindset. He's been playing pretty well for them, and his team looks pretty good in my opinion. I think they're definitely a team that has to be sort of reckoned with, and of course, Victor being the team captain, I think is a pretty good notable pick. And next up we have Grant Hill. Yes, Grant Hill, NBA Hall of Famer. Is Grant Hill a Hall of Famer? I should probably double check that. But his team also looks fairly well put together. I can remember in the draft, which I watched it a handful of days ago, was Chet Holmgren. So I guess he's like the team captain. He was the first pick. So Chet Holmgren, #1 pick there. Really good. They even have the duo there for him as well, with Jalen Williams. So we have some team camaraderie maybe. Then we have Team Tamika, who has her first overall pick, who I think, if I remember correctly, was Paolo Banchero, which of course is a very, very, very good first pick as well. You got my boy on there, Scoot Henderson. You also have Dyson Daniels, so good passing there on her end, good guard play. Jake Knight for some scoring. veteran leadership. He plays like he's been in the league for like 8 years already, so he got some veteran leadership there, I guess. Pretty good solid teams all around. And you have the G League Ignite team with Team Deflith Shrimp, or however you pronounce that guy's last name. Very good NBA player. Guys like Matas Buzelis, who's supposed to be a pretty high draft pick this year, like a top 10 pick, and potential #1 overall pick. I don't think he's going to go #1 anymore. We have Ron Holland, who I'm actually really intrigued to see how he plays, because he's supposed to be like a top 5 pick prospect, and at some point in time he was the #1 prospect in this upcoming NBA draft. So if you had asked me, Jake, who do you think is going to win? I mean, like, is it bad if I just pick Team Pau Gasol because he's one of my favorite players? And they have, I mean, Victor, Brandon, Jaime Hawkins has had a great rookie year so far this year. Jabari Smith Jr. is a sophomore, very smart player, and then Brandon from the Golden State Warriors has also been playing very fiery on it. Golden State Warriors teams are going to make a comeback this year. I'm going to pick Team Pau Gasol to win it all. Then up next we have the NBA Kia sponsor alert. Kia Skills Challenge with the participants of Team Top Picks, which is actually, I think, a fan voting of players that got voted in. Fans wanted to see these guys participate in the Skills Challenge, so here they are. We have Paolo Banchero, Anthony Edwards, and Victor Wembanyama. Then for Team Indiana, which of course this year's All-Star game is in Indianapolis. Tyrese Halliburton, which you guys know how I feel about Tyrese Halliburton. One of my favorite players to watch. I watched him play live this year because of that. Benedict Mathurin, a guy who played for Arizona. Shout out Benedict Mathurin. And pretty skillful big and Miles Turner. And then Team All-Stars, which is just some of the All-Stars from this year with Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Halliburton, and Trae Young. So if you don't know, the Skills Challenge is a skills challenge of basketball skill, passing, shooting, dribbling. I think that's everything. Passing, shooting, and dribbling. They have a little obstacle course. They gotta dribble through some cones or like some basketball NBA logo guys. You have to pass the ball in a very tough locations. Bounce passing, chest passing. Kind of hard, obviously, for some people who aren't very used to passing the ball, like some big men out there. And then 3-point shooting. They'll have to shoot a 3-point shot. Or I guess if some people out there want to chuck up a half-court shot to see if they can make it early, they can do that as well. So 3-point shooting as well. So an NBA skills competition between these 3 groups of teams. Each player, by the way, has to do, no one just does one thing. Everyone does passing, shooting, and dribbling. So it's not like a skillful thing where you only have to do one of them. Each player has to do the entire course. Interesting. In my opinion, Team All-Stars, good luck. Scotty Barnes is the best 3-point shooter. Tyrese Maxey can shoot some threes, but of course Trae Young is going to have to really carry this team. I feel like Trae Young is one of the most skillful players in this entire NBA with his passing. I think he leads the league in assists this year. I think he does. And Trae Young's shooting ability is, almost unmatched between players like, Curry, Dame, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, if Scotty can get lucky with his 3-point shot, he is a pretty decent passer and pretty skillful with the ball in his hand as well. Pretty good point forward in today's NBA. That could be a sneaky team, but I could also see this team being, struggling a lot with the 3-point shot. Team Pacers is also quite interesting, but I'm not sure how well of a shooter Benedict Mathurin is, or even a passer. Same thing with Miles Turner. Not too sure how good of a passer he is. He could be a guy that could just sit there and just pass the ball the entire time that they're doing this competition, and that could really hurt them. But Tyrese Halliburton can definitely carry this team. And then Team Top Picks. I think I'm going to go with Victor Wembanyama again this weekend, and I'm going to go with Team Top Picks. These guys are all so skillful. They're, guys who usually have the ball in the hands, top of the key, dribbling the ball a lot. Passing the ball could be really tough for this team, but I think everything else they can do this very well, especially the dribbling part with Victor, who, people say he plays like a 6'3" guard in a 7'5" guy's body. I think that's very true. Anthony Edwards is super skillful. Shooting could be yikes. Same thing with Paolo Banchero. That could be really tricky, but if they get that done, I think my pick is going to be Team Top Picks. And then the sneaky team, don't be sleeping on Team All-Stars. And we're on to the actual, Saturday night main events, which of course is the 3-point shootout. starting out with that, which I think is actually my favorite part of NBA All-Star Weekend. Obviously, of course, the dunk contest is not what it used to be anymore, but the three-point contest always has the stars, always has so much fun, and man, does it get very spicy. I love to see it. So, the participants for this year's three-point competition is, of course, the returning champ, Damian Lillard, trying to reclaim his title, his throne, which I think is kind of cool that he actually came back to do it. I think it should almost be a requirement. There should almost be a guaranteed requirement that if you won it last year, whatever competition it is, you have to return. So I think it's cool that Dame's doing that. Then you have his teammate, Malik Beasley, Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks, Tyrese Halliburton again showing up, Lauri Markkanen from the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, which I thought was kind of an interesting one, Karl Anthony Towns, or support for the big men there, and Trae Young. This has potential to be maybe one of the closest three-point competitions of all time. Now, we've had some really good ones, of course, with like Steph and Clay and Dame and so many other great three-point shooters in NBA's history in it at once. But this one could actually be a very sneaky, super talented NBA three-point shootout, and I'm super excited to see it. Let's see who I think is going to struggle the most. I think either Lauri Markkanen or Malik Beasley are going to be struggling in this a little bit. I could say Donovan Mitchell, but Donovan Mitchell is he's just like a star in the NBA. He's used to getting shots up and doing everything for a team. So I don't think him shooting three-pointers all that much, even though I don't think he does that much in the NBA season so far this year. Maybe I'm wrong. But Malik Beasley, kind of a role player. Lauri Markkanen, an all-star last year. This year having a little bit, he's not an all-star this year. I'm really interested to see how these guys do, being maybe guys who aren't really used to just chucking up threes and doing whatever they want on the court all the time. I'm really interested to see what could happen there. But I think they're probably going to struggle the most. Maybe I could pick like a top three. Let me pick a top three, and then maybe pick a winner. But these are my top three guys. I think Dame, trying to reclaim the throne. I think definitely got to put him up in there. He won it last year. Always a good three-point shooter. If he can get off to a fiery start, he could run away with it. But maybe he could struggle. Maybe the pressure gets to him. This year for Dame hasn't been the best field goal percentage-wise. He's going through a lot, like a divorce, and obviously getting traded from his team and everything like that. He's not having the greatest mindset year, but maybe this will switch him into a different mode. But I'll pick Dame. I'm also going to pick Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson really wants to show out for himself, New York, but mostly himself. I know he's had a lot of talk about people thinking he's not really a true number one. He's not an all-star himself. He's too short, too this, too that. So Jalen Brunson, I think, is also going to be a guy to look out for. And I think I'm gonna go. Tyrese Halliburton. I think I'm gonna go Halliburton. I almost want to say Trae Young. Oh man, I mean Trae Young could definitely hit those 4-point NBA shots. Which yes, they do have 4-pointers now in the All-Star 3-point shootout. Very weird, I know, but they do have those there. Karl Anthony Towns could put on a good show. And if I have to pick a winner, I'm gonna go with the hometown pick of Tyrese Halliburton. I'm gonna say Halliburton wins it for Indianapolis, being there in Indiana. I think the crowd's gonna be around him. I think it's gonna be a really good show. I think the hometown guy wins it. And Tyrese Halliburton, he's a very good standstill shooter. Even his shooting form is very much catered to him being a standstill shooter. The way he shoots it is very awkward, but I think it works for a standstill shot like this. So I'm gonna give it to Tyrese Halliburton to win it. But again, I think those are my top three with Jalen and Dame there. Look out for Karl Anthony Towns. We have the NBA Slam Dunk Contest now, which I'm actually excited about. Is that weird? I'm actually excited to see what happens in this year's Slam Dunk Contest. Now, it could be one that people just play safe, or it could be something exciting. I have no idea. The participants for this year's NBA Slam Dunk Contest is Jaylen Brown, Jaime Jaquez Jr., we have Mac McClung, is he on the Knicks? Oh, he's on the Knicks. Oh, I didn't know he was actually an NBA player. Okay, that's fine. Good job with the Toppins getting in the NBA. Yeah, Mac McClung being back in it is super cool. I'm glad that guy's still, getting paid to play basketball. I think he's skillful enough to do that, so he's in the G League, which is obviously really cool. And, I'm excited. I think he's going to be really tough to take out. I think the way he jumps, how fiery and explosive he is, short guys in the slam dunk contest always do really well because it's spectacular to see them jump and fly and glide in the air and all the twists and turns they can do. Short guys really do have it very, I don't want to say easy, but they do have more of an awe and a wow factor because of, the jump effect. Obviously, of course, yes, Jaylen Brown is the very much odd man looking out in this picture. Jaylen Brown, an NBA All-Star, actually in the slam dunk contest, which is usually never happening ever. I can't even think of the last NBA All-Star who was in the slam dunk contest, like someone of that caliber, and maybe it was Zach LaVine, the last true All-Star who was in, or at least All-Star caliber player who was in the slam dunk contest. Jaime Jaquez is really weird being here. He is also a guy who's, a body contact, he can jam on some guys type of dunker. But again, turning, twisting, 360 between the legs, I can see him maybe doing some prop dunks, but being again an all shock factor dunker, I don't really think he has it in him. And then Jacob Toppin is an X factor. I have no idea. I've never seen him play basketball, so if I had to pick a winner, kind of fast, kind of anticlimactic, Mac McClung goes back to back, baby. I think he goes back to back. Yeah, short guys in slam dunk contest always have it fun, always have it down, always have some creative ideas because they can just provide more shock and awe factor with how cool they jump. That's just how it is. And then we have, of course, the main event of the NBA All-Star Game, East versus West. For the Western Conference All-Stars, for the starters, we have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic. For the bench, we have Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, Paul George, Kawhi, and Karl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves. For the Western Conference starters, we have Damian Lillard, Tyrese Haliburton, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. No Joel Embiid anymore, though. I think he's being replaced by Scotty Barnes. I almost said Pascal Siakam. Then we have Bam Adebayo, Paolo Banchero, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Maxey, and Julius Randle. I don't know if Randle is playing, had a replacement, something like that. I actually don't know. The only reserve I heard about was Scotty Barnes. If not, I'm throwing a picture. That's why I'm leaving this space open, so you guys can have some stuff to look at. But yeah, East versus West. They did also reveal a new LED. Is that LED? Glass panel that they're going to be playing on top of. It's not going to be a hardwood. It's actually going to be a glass panel that they're going to be playing on an LED screen. And it looks crazy. It looks absolutely insane. It could be the future of NBA basketball as we see it. Playing on top of these screens, projections, different things like that. Easier to see the court. Think about stats on there, the game score. It's gonna look wild, but I'm really excited to see how maybe that can look for, the NBA going forward. Now, I'm going to pick a winner, and I'm going to pick the All-Star Game MVP. In my honest opinion, who do I think is going to win this year? Definitely the Western Conference has a lot of more veteran guys. You have LeBron, of course, Durant, Jokic. You could even throw in guys' names in, I guess Booker's kind of a vet, you can say. AD, Paul George, Kawhi. Karl's been in the league for a while. They only really have, Anthony Edwards and, Luka's kind of new, I guess. Shea's definitely someone who's been sort of popping up on the radar recently, but he's been in the league for a while. Definitely some, veteran, more guys. Then for the guards, not the guards, for the NBA East, Haliburton is in there. I guess Jason Tatum, he's still 18 years old, I think, so he's still pretty young. Paolo, Jaylen Brown, Brunson, I think this is his first time as an All-Star. Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell still kind of in that iffy range where I don't know if he's a vet or not. I don't know. I think this is going to be a closer game than people think. I think this will be the closest East versus West the stretch. I think SGA is just so talented all-around player. He's going to steal the show, and I'm picking a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to win the NBA All-Star Game MVP this year, which is actually named after Kobe Bryant, which I think is really cool. East, if they win, I think Jason Tatum is a player who really wants to win the MVP, like, in the regular season, so I can definitely see this being a coming-out party, again, for Jason Tatum, sort of stamping his name into being at least a candidate for this year's MVP award for the Boston Celtics, having such a good record this year, and having a good season himself. Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, of course, the all-star guy, the hometown kid. I think Tyrese Halliburton could definitely be in that range as well. Or again, I think Jalen Brunson. I think if Jalen also gets in the game off the bench reserves and he gets fiery, he gets an opportunity. Jalen Brunson is a scorer that I think could just be like, hey guys, I want to put my name on the map. Give me the ball, and they think they'll respect that and give it to me. Yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for me. Sorry about the background noise. This apartment is just so loud, and I do apologize for the background noise. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching tonight's video. Make sure you guys comment down below. Comment down below your own picks, your winners, what you're excited about, the future of the NBA, maybe your pick for the NBA champions, or any, I guess, NBA, any ASMR video ideas. And make sure you like the little like button down there. I'd very much appreciate that. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you. And I'll see you in another video very soon.